Welcome to another extremely long episode of Monday Movie Pickup. This isn't really a case of me buying a lot of movies in the past week. This is more a case of things started showing up. With all the Christmas delays, packages started to appear, orders finally went through, and then everything decided to come all at once. So we're going to go in order somewhat. First, we're going to start with some of the Best Picture nominees, winners, actually. As I had gone over in the last episode, or even the episode before that, I said I started to buy some of the Best Picture winners. So first we got All Quiet on the Western Front, and this won the Best Picture in, I believe it was 1930. Yes, I believe so. And I actually got the digibook of this, which I did not expect. I did not look out for the digibook. I didn't really care to get one. Honestly, I didn't even really know there was one, but it appeared. I was going for the 100th anniversary edition. There was a re-release of this, but it had the same special features and transfer, so I decided to just go for the older one for a better price. Just so happened to be a digibook, so good day. Accidental digibook. I have another Best Picture winner, which I believe won right after All Quiet on the Western Front. We have Cimarron, and know nothing about this movie. All I know is that it only has a DVD release, much like the Broadway Melody, which only has a DVD release. There's very few Best Picture winners that only have DVD releases. So Broadway Melody, I assumed the reason was because the color sequence is missing, so I don't know exactly what it is about Cimarron that only has the DVD release. It's done by Warner. I haven't seen anything done through the Warner archive for a Blu-ray release yet, but perhaps in the future. Otherwise, that DVD goes for very cheap online, so you might as well get a DVD copy if you're like me and don't really want to wait around for a Blu-ray release. That may never happen. We have Cavalcade. So this is the 20th Century Fox movie, which when they've done some of their classic releases, they actually have this cool logo in the corner there. I don't know. I think it's cool for some of their classic work. And know nothing about this one either, except that it won Best Picture. So don't really know what to get out of this one either, but that's all what it's about here. Buying the Best Picture winners, a lot of the earlier ones I know nothing about, but it's exciting to give them a watch to see what was considered the best back then, or at least what the Academy thought was the best. Because last but not least, we have The Life of Emile Zola, another movie I have no clue what it's about, but it won Best Picture. So we'll see what we get. But Paul Muni, I do have a little history with. Let me see here. Yeah, so here's this other Paul Muni film called I Am a Fugitive from a Chain Gang, and this is a really good movie that a lot of people don't know about. But I watched this in a film class once, and it's very good. But also has only a DVD release. I would love for Warner to get to making a Blu-ray of that movie. But now I have his other film. So I haven't seen a lot of his work, but he's great in I Am a Fugitive from a Chain Gang, so maybe this will be just as good and just as much of a lost gem as the other movie is. But this also only has a DVD release. I see nothing about a Blu-ray coming out anytime soon, but might as well buy it now because just like Cimarron, it's a cheap DVD. So I have some stuff from Shout Factory, which we're going to start with the Universal Horror Collection, which I just realized they got to Volume 6. They haven't announced another volume, but it sounds like that will be the last volume that they do. It doesn't sound like they have any rights to other Universal Horror films. I have the first 3 volumes, and now I'm just getting the 4th. These are kind of fun because a lot of these movies are pretty short. The first volume, all the films were only around an hour, if not a couple minutes longer, so sometimes if you really are up for it, you could probably watch all of them in a single weekend night if you really want. I have Return of the Living Dead here, which I have the first movie, but I don't have the Shout Factory release, which went out of print, which is a little disappointing. I guess I don't think I need the Shout Factory edition. I know it comes with the work print cut that has 20 extra minutes, but maybe I'll just be able to find it again someday. But unfortunately, when these Shout Factory discs go out of print, they immediately skyrocket in price, even though there's probably enough copies out there for it to not be worth, at the moment, $80-some. But it got me fearful that maybe the other movies in the series that I haven't cared to watch would also go out of print. The third one is not released by Shout. It's actually a different company, and I know the other sequels are only DVD releases from what I understand. I might have to look it up again. But the third one is a company I've never even heard of, and I actually don't even have the name on me at the moment. But I'm always happy with Shout Factory, and a lot of special features for the sequel, which I've never seen. I haven't heard great things about it, but I love the first movie. I love the idea of the first movie, so really hope maybe I'll like the second one for some reason. We have this other movie, The House That Screams. So this is actually a movie that I reviewed. It was part of the Mill Creek Tales of Terror box set. So I've actually talked about this, and I actually like this movie quite a bit. It's very, it's low budget. It's not very well known to the public, but it's a very atmospheric movie. I don't know if it was technically a public domain, or if the company that owns it maybe had a deal with Mill Creek at one point, because this here says it's an MGM release with Shout Factory, but I didn't know MGM had the rights to this movie. But Mill Creek has been known to do that before, where they have movies that are not actually public domain, but yet they're releasing them somehow. But yeah, I saw this only as a crappy DVD release, mashed in with some other movies, so I've never seen this in high quality, so I'm excited to give it a watch from the Shout Factory when eventually I'll want to watch it again. This was actually a disc that was going out of print, and I kept skipping on it for a while until the price went really down low, so I guess they were just trying to get rid of them by the end. It might even be available on the site still, much like I Bury the Living, which was also part of the 200 film box set. That was released on Blu-ray by Shout, and I actually bought that as well for a very low price. So a lot of these lower budget, more unknown movies that may or may not be public domain that were released by Mill Creek that now have Blu-ray releases are also going out of print. Very low prices at the moment, and you might be able to still get some of them if you want. And the final of those is actually The Screaming Skull. I've also reviewed this movie. I know a lot of people know about this one. This is the famous, the skull's like rolling around and she's freaking out, and it's a really dumb movie. What's great about this release is that it does have the Mystery Science Theater 3000 episode, which makes fun of the edited portion of the film, which is actually on the Mill Creek DVD box set. So at the time, that was like the best quality version, was this crappy, really low quality print that had a really bad edit halfway through. But this probably fixes it. However, I'm guessing the Mystery Science Theater 3000 episode still uses the original version, or the one with the really bad cut, the low-res version. So it'd be kind of weird to watch the movie in higher quality without that edit, and then suddenly go to the Mystery Science Theater 3000 episode, and it's like that edit's there, and they're making fun of it, and it's like, well, it's not. I don't know what I'm really talking about, but point is, I only bought this because it was so cheap. I bought it with The House That Screamed, and I was like, whatever. I'll own this on Blu-ray. Why not own one of the dumbest, worst movies? I call it the worst. It's not. I'm honestly kind of forgetting what the movie was even about, because it's not. It's very, very insignificant. I'd like to go back to my review and maybe pull up some snippets. I'm sure I'll give it a watch again someday. It's been pretty rare on here lately, but I had upgraded all my DVDs to Blu-ray, but over time, some of my older DVDs have since started to get Blu-ray releases, which is kind of nice. Even some VHSs that I need to now upgrade to Blu-ray that I never thought would get a Blu-ray release, but this late in the game, they're actually doing it. One of the really cool ones was the Abbott and Costello Universal collection that they released on DVD, I think in 2008, or because at the time it was for the 70th anniversary, but now they just retitled it the 80th anniversary set, and all those same movies that were owned by Universal are all on Blu-ray now through Shout Factory. This was actually part of the Shout Select series, which I don't really know why they even have a Shout Select series versus what Scream Factory does versus what Shout Factory itself does. I don't know why there has to be several different. Because then they also have collector's editions and regular releases. Now they have Shout Select, and I'm like, why? But I guess it's to do something that was numbered similar to Criterion. I got quite a few of these, and even those have started to already go out of print. The Pink Panther set I got in 2017 is already out of print and is going for astronomical prices online. It's funny that at times my Blu-ray collection will just double in price because it went out of print, even though I don't think technically the Pink Panther set should be going for, like, last I looked it was well over $100. No, there's no reason it should be going for that price. I'm sure there's enough out there for everyone who wants to get one, can probably get their hands on it. I do have the DVD set, and I watched a couple of them, but I thought it would be better to maybe watch them on Blu-ray, so I started to dig into this set with the higher quality versions, and for Christmas it went for a much lower price than what it was originally starting at, so finally decided to upgrade to Blu-ray. Yeah, it's just a rare occasion I do a Blu-ray upgrade. There might have even been an episode where I got the Abbott and Costello set, so already I have the Blu-ray set, but I do plan to sell the DVD set because people are still trying to get that one. I actually got the suitcase version, which was a little more rare. There's not as many of the suitcase versions versus the regular DVD set, which was released in similar packaging to this. We have some requests for January in the pile that I finally got. Deathcember, which I know nothing about. All I know is that Anthony requested it on Patreon, and he said this was actually a movie that he helped fund, I believe, through something like an Indiegogo campaign. This one might have not actually been Indiegogo. Know nothing about it. It's an indie flick. 24 I think is it really 24 short films, or is it something like, I don't know. I know it's an anthology film, so don't know what to expect with that. But then we have The Proposal, which I already have done the review on. This was, of course, very easy to get because a lot of these Touchstone films that were released, or anything really released by Disney that's live action during the mid-2000s, is very cheap on Blu-ray now. And go watch my review for my thoughts on that. I got the complete Sherlock Holmes set, which is not all of the Sherlock Holmes movies, obviously, because that'd be, like, impossible for how many there are. This is the Basil Rathbone films, which, after some research, I believe this is every single one of his movies. There were other people who were Sherlock Holmes at the time that are not as well known nowadays, but actually a couple of these movies, I don't know if they're actual public domain films, but they are available on the Mill Creek 200 film box set, Tales of Terror, which I've been holding off reviewing the Sherlock Holmes films because I actually wanted to do it in one batch, but I figured if I'm going to watch the later movies, which those are the only ones available on the box set, like the later ones, I believe it was The Spider-Woman, The Woman in Green, Pursuit to Algiers, Terror by Night, and Dressed to Kill. I think those are the ones that are on the box set. I might have a couple of those wrong, but there's about 4 or 5 that are on the box set. And I figured, well, if I'm going to watch the later ones, I might as well watch the earlier ones. And then I was like, maybe I should just watch all of them. Talk about them all. And then get the ones that are on the box set all done in one quick go. So I don't know when that's going to happen, but that's why I got the Blu-ray set, to start watching all of those. And, I think it'd be cool to check out every Sherlock Holmes adaptation, if possible. I like Sherlock Holmes. I like the idea of it, but I've certainly not watched any of the movies or shows beyond, I watched an episode of the Benedict Cumberbatch show. I still have to continue that, but I like that show. Every episode is kind of like an individual movie. And then I did watch the Robert Downey Jr. film, which I remember liking, but have never gotten back to it in like the last 10 years. And the sequel I've never seen. But the Looney Tunes Platinum Volume 2 set. So the first one went out of print, the digibook, but then the actual regular release of it also went out of print, and I thought maybe only Volume 1 had gone out of print. I wasn't paying attention because I didn't buy Volume 2 or 3 for many years, and then I saw that Volume 2 had actually gone out of print, and it wasn't even available on Amazon. So I tried to bid on eBay to get the second one and third one together. Someone outbid me, and I started freaking out because I was like, I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to get Volume 2. Maybe most of this is on HBO Max, but I'm not even sure, and some of the special features I'll never be able to get. However, after doing some research, learned online that there was a German version of the release, which is the reason that there's some German words on here, and usually they have these stickers in the corner. It's actually part of the disc art itself. It's not even a sticker. I found out that the German version is just the American version, but they released it in Germany, but it's region free, and if you put in the player, it actually is just the English words and English language, and I did test it out when I bought it, and yes, it was true, and for the German version, it only cost around $20. So if you're still trying to get the Platinum sets, I don't know what you're going to do about Volume 1, because Volume 1 in other countries, which I believe their German version, at least, maybe they release in other countries that are also region free, but that Volume 1, the special features disc, the third one, the third disc anyway, for Volume 1, is only available in the American release. It's not available in the other countries, but it is still region free. Volume 2 is region free. Volume 3 is still available in America for a better price. I'm sure it's going to go out of print eventually. Volume 3 only had 2 discs. This one had 3 discs, and the special features disc is actually available. The third special features disc, anyway, is available in the German version and in other countries. But for Volume 1, for some reason, it was only the first 2 discs, not the third disc. That's only available in America. So my point is, if you haven't gotten Volume 1, the American version, you're probably never going to get that third disc unless you pay a big price. Just trying to help you all out there. Spend hours on those Blu-ray forums, but that should be it for a while. There probably won't be an episode next week, but who knows? Depends on if some things get here, but I think pretty much everything that I had ordered recently has come, so if there's an episode next week, we'll see. If not, thanks for watching. Thanks for watching the video, and special shout out to Anthony, Anna, Kirsten, Lucas, Ryan, and Robert for the support on Patreon. By joining my Patreon, you can get exclusive videos and blogs, and for only $7, you can request your own movie review. I hope you stick around, cinephile, and have a happy, productive day.